The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and The Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome to another wonderful edition of the Power Trading Hour at your headquarters for technical trading and investing, TFNN.com. Well, we've got another great day out here. A lot of semi-breaking news, and actually it's probably breaking some people's hearts because not much is happening. We've got Apple out with their dog and pony show, and also Microsoft has got a little dog and pony show going, and kind of a collective yawn so far, so we'll tell you what that means in just a minute. But we've got a lot of action out here in this market, so let's get to it, actually, since we're kind of waiting for the market to actually get going. There we go. Okay. On this day in 1752, Benjamin Franklin flew a kite during a thunderstorm and collected a charge in a Leyden jar. And the kite was struck by lightning and enabled him to demonstrate the electrical nature of lightning. And if you don't know what a Leyden jar is, it was the predecessor to a capacitor. And but kind of a really crude one, but people were already figuring out ways to actually store static electricity, and that's what a Leyden jar was. It basically showed the principle, but kind of a mason jar, if you want to think of it, with some electrodes dropping down into a liquid emulsion. But that old Benjamin Franklin, pretty wise dude, not only writing the Constitution, but had a lot of interest in wildly different endeavors. And what can you say? After the country was formed, had a big interest in French women. Apparently, if you watch some of the more risque versions of our early history on cable. But what can we say? Guess he liked what he liked. Oh, boy. Apple, WWDC, the Worldwide Developer Conference, started today. The worm has turned. Well, not so much. Basically, they came out, and at least to this point, there are no real surprises in anything that they're talking about. We've got, just incremental stuff. Apple, for a number of years, was revolutionary. Unfortunately, just like a country, when it's taken over, those revolutionaries become evolutionary. You just can't have a number of evolutionary moves all the time. And, of course, everybody's been expecting some kind of new whiz-bang product, and it's just kind of tough to actually get that going. They're up a little, but I have a feeling that the market was actually being pushed fairly decently on the beliefs that maybe Apple would have something really neat to show. Of course, we're off about 1 point on the S&P cash. Not a big deal, but we were up at 1648, which is about the top of the range out here. And the volume has been just disgusting. 1.85 billion shares just ticked over right there. And so extremely, extremely light volume. Need to be watching this market for any signs of a huge instability. But, of course, everybody was pushing the VIX down this morning, and it's recovering quite a deal, quite a lot. But when you look at it, it's new versions of the operating system. It's a new laptop with an Intel processor. Was any of that innovation Apple's? And the answer is no. It's all Intel's smaller die, which I've been talking about probably for the next, I guess I brought it up in the Tech Insider in the September 28th edition last year about what the smaller die would be, and even publishing their roadmap And again, next year they'll be doing the same thing. And I just don't know how anybody is going to come close to competing with them anytime in the near future. But just a lot of yawn so far. I've got a feed going here on my other computer and watching some of the blog posts and of what they are talking about at Apple. If anything really interesting comes out, I'll let you know. But so far in here, nothing really speaks to me as a earth-changing event. You know, it was up to 449 today. It's now up just a buck, but I suspect it is getting ready to move back down. And over the summer, try to slide back down into that 390 area. And the question is whether or not it can hold that 390. I don't think. The question is whether or not it is going to rally up here. It has become the Microsoft of 2000 to 2010 now, not the Microsoft of 1986 to 2000 as it was. Other stocks in the news, of course, E3 is starting today. That is the consumer game conference. It is in LA. Of course, the one in San Francisco is the Apple one. But they are pushing out some stuff. Started their press conference about 30 minutes before Apple's big shindig, kind of to take a little bit of the thunder off of Apple, but basically the big things that we hadn't talked about in Microsoft already is a updated cost reduced version of the Xbox 360. It's also sexier looking. They're going to offer this at a lower price, especially to go after game business around the world that is very cost sensitive. There will still be lots of games coming out aimed at the 360, and they're kind of showing those off today. And we'll get more into the next 2 days where they're showing off the Xbox One, which is the new product coming out this October. I guess that's the tentative date. And you know, just a huge amount of upgrades in that to, well, it hadn't been really refreshed in 7 years. We're going to find out a little bit more about the new Xbox 360 and whether or not it's more powerful. But my understanding is that they were running out of things like RAM and everything else. It was more expensive to build the old one, so they've just upgraded it to the least common denominator. And let's say things like memory. It's not uncommon to have a, you know, with the memory changes wildly escalating over the last 7 years, not uncommon, you know, if the thing originally had a gigabyte of RAM and the cost point now is 8 gigs, is just as expensive to put the 8 gigs in and limit it to 1 gig so it's still compatible with the old stuff. And same thing, put in a faster processor, but limit it so that the games play the same way. A lot of that kind of stuff going on, and I suspect that's what we're seeing here is just a huge cost reduction. These have always been, or at least these Xboxes, have always been the razor blade kind of market, and that is exactly what we're looking at here, and that is they've been giving away the Xboxes for years. As prices fell, their margins went up, but we're always depending on a cut of every game that came out on the Xbox, and they've done it well over the years. Over the weekend, we had Barron's come out with the hit cover on Tesla. Not a whole lot of movement in Tesla. Let me get back today in Tesla, but it's kind of, I think they had a good article on the valuation of Tesla. I think they are wrong on the merits of their argument, and that is unless it comes up with a cheaper, stronger battery, the stock could turn out to be a lemon. What happens if someone else comes out with a cheaper, stronger battery and they are just a me too? And I think that's the argument that people should be using when looking at Tesla, valued as if they are already selling 200,000 cars and have a dealership that they have to give some of that money away to, which they do not at the moment. And eventually they will have car dealers. They've lost in Texas. They've lost in several other states. And eventually everybody will have a car dealer that they can go to. The car dealer, a lot of people say, well, they shouldn't have to have car dealers. The reason why is there used to be a couple hundred car manufacturers, and they would go in and out of business all the time. And, not until, probably the 30s, when most of those companies went bankrupt in the Great Depression, did the companies were still around to either make parts and or supply service and warranty for it. And most of those dealership laws go back into that. You want to have somebody that has an axe to grind locally and somebody to fight for you when the company does not live up to its expectations. I can understand the argument that you ought to be able to buy a car on the web without anybody, but at that point, is there anybody other than someone getting paid to do the maintenance on it that would ever be in your corner that has a lot to lose? And that was always the dealership model. There was someone out there that when you got screwed over by the manufacturer, you could go somewhere and stand in front of his location and wear a giant lemon outfit and dance and prance around till you got some action. If there's only a national company, how many people can afford to move to California and stand in front of the Tesla plant with a giant lemon? Not that they have bad cars, but that is the whole idea, that if you only have a company that has a presence and nowhere to go and complain locally, that most of these things never got fixed. So that's why. But my argument with Tesla would be bigger, which is if they don't come up with a battery of their own that no one else has, what is the barrier to every other car company coming in and making something against Tesla? There's not a whole lot that they have out there that can be patented. Electric motors, no. Most of the other stuff has already been done before them. There just isn't a lot of protection other than building the best cars. And again, the margins will eventually start to fall. And that's when this company is probably going to be valued like General Motors, and that would be at somewhere between $20-25 right now, I would imagine, even with growth added. Off 2 points on the S&P cash just before we go to break. Volume still light, 1.9 billion shares, and we'll have to see how the rest of the day comes out, but it looks to me much like 2000, where we had severe and very quick reactions on the way down, and if we really start seeing the market continue to sell off here, I think we could have a severe market imbalance over the next couple of weeks. Anyway, we'll be back in just a minute, cover some more of the news, and get into some stocks at the bottom of the hour.
The Art of Timing the Trade Charts has officially launched at TFNN. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind software, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, butterflies, ABCs, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the market for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, and even months searching to find. As part of our introductory pricing, we're offering licenses available at only $59 per month. We're so confident that you'll love this new outstanding piece of charting software that we'll even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Lock in your low price today by ordering your copy at TFNN.com.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces. And over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And as we come back, silver's up 23 cents, gold's up about $4. And, you know, we have most of the commodities down. I think I saw like corn and wheat and all those were lower today. So, but on a quiet sideways day, kind of interesting. During the break, I did check my news and found out that, well, is that right? Did the markets just spike again? 224, is that? Can't be right. There's something going on here. Let me check my quotes just to make sure that something else isn't going wrong here. No, it still shows correct. Okay, just wanted to make sure something was going on. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Microsoft. During the break, I got to check my email, and apparently they did announce the pricing for the Xbox One this fall, come out late October, 1st of November, for $499. So for the price of what a regular computer costs is what a new Xbox One will be. Kind of interesting in that, you know, pretty good income stream, and my guess is from looking at it, cost of manufacturing probably about $350. So they probably, this may be the first Xbox they actually start making money out on right out the door. So it would be very interesting. Of course, that's going to include the new Kinetic product that is about 10 times higher resolution than the old one. So going to be interesting. Anyway, in the news out here, IPOs this week, Aratna Therapeutics, symbol is going to be BETX, developing medications for cats and dogs based on therapies for humans. It's going to be small, $51 million. Kind of interesting. The only reason I brought it up was I saw ads this week where you could actually get your medications for dogs and cats at Walmart now. They are actually fulfilling those same kind of things other than your overpriced veterinarian, which I think is kind of interesting. COTY is a fragrance and cosmetics company with several globally recognized brands. Try to offer $1 billion, somewhere between $16.50 and $18.50 this week. And Gigamon, which provides data traffic management and software-based appliances, is going to try to raise $128 million, again, fairly small. If you missed it, there's somebody talking about something about the NSA and all that. Well, anyway, Booz Allen is the company that most of these people actually work for. They don't work for NSA. And if you don't know much about spooks, which are not a derogatory ethnic term, but actually the term for spies, almost all of them end up working for some other company so that they have plausible deniability about what they do. But like the CIA people all work for the Smithsonian. A lot of these NSA people work for individual contractors. One reason is you can't pay the kind of people that the NSA needs and put it on a list of government employees. If some guy's making $250,000 a year, people are going to ask what he does. And so you put it under one of these private companies. Probably all the money actually even comes back to the CIA or the NSA. But in this case, Booz Allen, symbol is BAH, is the one that the leaker worked for. It dropped 4 or 5% this morning. But kind of interesting when you think of these companies that are just beyond the pale out here. 32,500 employees of Booz Allen have top secret security clearances. Really? So you don't think this is really the NSA out here as a public company? They certainly do the same kind of work. And just kind of interesting that there are several of these companies, including a lot of startups, that are actually backed by these, and probably going to hear more about them, but probably not any more than Booz Allen itself. Somebody in the den, Z is saying owned by Blackstone and Lehman. Huh? Interesting. First, solar popped, and the EU last week imposed a new 11.8% duties on import of solar cells, wafers, and panels from China. My understanding is that the reason that First Solar here in the United States is popped is the same thing is happening here, and they're going to start instituting duties on the Chinese who've been dumping solar cells for quite a while. We'll be back in just a minute, finish up the news, and get into some charts.
Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives you Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. With Market Insights, nothing is left to guessing. With the market at record levels, volatility is here, and now is a perfect time to take advantage of a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights. As recently as March 26th, Tom advised his subscribers to liquidate their 4 short-term equity holdings, closing out all 4 positions for a combined 15.9% profit. And on April 1st, Tom advised his clients to sell their longer-term position in AIG warrants, locking in more than a 40% profit in just that one trade. If you'd like to see the kind of newsletter Tom O'Brien sends out to his subscribers each morning, then sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
You know, I can't guarantee it, but we do have markets that could be very fast, and we've seen a little of that last week. But at the end of last week, we also had some of the largest moves in the Shibor, which is like the LIBOR for the Shanghai Interbank. We had moves from, almost 6% to 6.6%. And just really huge moves over basically 3 days, starting last Wednesday night. And I don't know if these had anything to do with the Prime Minister here in the United States, but kind of interesting to actually see just massive moves in the Chinese banks over the last 3 days. I was wondering if we'd get a little follow-through today. But those kind of moves normally signal a bigger issue, and really never heard the reason why. But do be interested in what's happening over in Asia, because I suspect there's something bigger going on structurally in the Chinese economy when we see these huge moves for their interbank lending rate. And maybe we're going to find out that we're starting to see some of the banks come through with the problems that they no doubt have over there in China, and kind of a economy with the truth of what's probably really going on in their accounting. So anyway, we're going to get to stocks. And I guess I brought it up in the 10. I might talk about it. Monsanto had a nice little move out here today. It basically got a shot in the arm when the Chinese said that they were going to start using some of the Monsanto grain products. And actually a nice pop out here today. Hit the high of 106.77 already. But up today, what you don't really see is that kind of volume out here. One of the other things that would make me worried about Monsanto too is, and it really wasn't reported here in the United States that much, but there were about 400 separate rallies against Monsanto and their engineered seeds. The question is going to be whether or not they can really do well with exporting these grains to other countries. Many have black marketed or black marked any grains from the United States that are genetically modified, and I think part of the pop today is, of course, from China, who could care less. They could be radiated with nuclear waste, I think, and they would buy them as long as they're cheap. But one of the olive branches from China in getting something from the United States that they truly need, and that is food and foodstuffs to keep the riffraff from revolting in China out here. We're going to go through some of the stocks that moved this morning. Atlas Energy, this company has ended up buying a lot of natural gas area down in, I believe it's in Arizona, New Mexico way. Atlas Energy, symbol is ALTS. And let me see, just quickly, let me pull something up as I tap dance wildly to look at it. ATLS, just to make sure here. Yeah, buying, let me get the news here. Atlas Resource Partner acquiring about 466 billion cubic feet worth of proven natural gas reserves for $733 million. I don't know, 466 billion cubic feet sounds to me like kind of a nice deal. But going to be about 93% of the natural gas reserves in regions from New Mexico's Raton Basin to Alabama's Black Warrior Basin are approved developed land. Currently uses about 119 million cubic feet per day of natural gas, but it's awful close to the Gulf of Mexico. And of course, one of the things I've been waiting for is there's been several IPOs over the last year of companies that are building natural gas, compressed and liquefied natural gas shipping tankers. And as those come on board, I suspect we're going to see this play here work out where they can easily get to that and get to the Gulf that far. But kind of interesting. But keep an eye on this one. As a natural gas play in the coming years, Atlas Energy, and that's a limited partnership. So you need to understand what a limited partnership is on that deal. We were talking about Booz Allen Hamilton. This thing took a wicked nosedive, and I believe that was because of a one-time payout back on the 31st of August 2012. It's been working its way back up into that. Had a decent high volume high, $18.74. My question would be, is with all the bad news about this, is the idea that we're going to even do more in that sector more likely or less likely? And my guess would probably be as the sunshine rains down in that sector, probably less likely. eBay is it's come down on some fairly decent volume the last few moves out here. Actually had a lower low with a higher volume from the April 22nd low, where it got to $51.16, 13 million shares. Got a million more shares on June 6th, but it is bouncing, but very light volume out here. This thing looks like it wants to get back down to the $49.55 high out here. It did get to a high of 53.27 today, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. An upgrade on Facebook is getting this dog to bounce a little bit today. Volume's okay, but again, this thing is got some nice setups for possible ABC downs. Let's take a quick look at those. Oh, if I clicked on it, it would have. And that is going to take you to $21.28. This thing's still in the down channel, but of course another nebulous, I think it's quit going down upgrade. Not that huge amounts of tweeners are decided to get back on Facebook. Or that they found a great way to monetize mobile Facebook as more and more youngsters move to things that are easier to deal with on like Twitter and other things that are easier to deal on mobile. But that first one-to-one comes down at 21.28, so I'm suspecting that we've probably got a good shot at it. First Solar, we talked about, it is another one that was popping out here today on a day where everything was kind of flat. At least when we started the show. And we're off $1.59 on the S&P cash right now. But again, First Solar looks to me like it wants to come out here and test this doji high from May 21st with 14 million shares. Of course, pretty much into that candle already with about 5 million shares so far today. I just don't see a lot in this one. In fact, I'll be more interested in watching a possible double repo in this, and let's go to displaced moving average out here. But a little lumpy out here, but I would be watching this very closely if we get a test of $59 on lighter volume and then pull back, because incentives and even embargoes against Chinese solar cells being out there still enormously overpriced compared to things like natural gas. The question is, when does the music stop for this, or do they finally come up with a cost competitive product out here that we can look? Rovi, not doing too well. Lost in a legal court settlement today against Netflix. We'll look at Netflix in a second. This thing had just a beautiful move almost all the way up, and finally looks like wanted to get into that $27 range where a long-term gap existed. And when we go back in this thing, that gap goes back on fairly decent volume to May 4th of 2012, where this thing came down on 6.1 million shares. So we were just getting back into that range where this thing was getting ready to come back in and drop. But let me hang on just a second. ROVI. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It was about music playing. Let's see. Lost in the ITC, which means that there aren't a lot of appeals to come back on this. They had some of their patents that were confirmed valid, but the biggest one was against Netflix. And, of course, Netflix, they were thinking that maybe they had some deep pockets. Rovi was going to get some quick juice out of Netflix, but it does not look that way. NFLX, didn't look at Netflix reaction to the news today. Not much. I wouldn't be surprised that it's out there. It has very little to do with what Netflix is doing. But looking for one more gap up to make a beautiful three-gap play in Netflix, and I think we could still get something like that. We were talking about these solar companies. And some of the ones that were actually doing fairly well. Solar City, of course, came down on fairly heavy volume. and it's now getting back up into where it started to pop with volume and in support. So Solar City SCTY, another one of the Elon Musk companies out here, but not a lot of action on that one either. Tesla was off about $3 in the morning, and making a little doji out here today also. See what that thing looks like. If there's been a logarithmic company out here, it's certainly this one. And what we're looking for is one more close below the 3x3 displaced moving average to pull a longer-term short on Tesla. Let's go back here and just do a 9-day moving average, which is a little closer out here. But in a double repo pattern, you're looking for 10 to 15 days above the 3x3 or 9-day displaced moving average. You want a couple of days close below it. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 1, 4. Now we've got a couple above it. You want to watch this thing. If it starts breaking lower, so we're probably looking around in this $100 move. Let's go to displaced. So we can look at $95 today, and I suspect $98 on the 12th. If you're not familiar with displaced moving averages, basically it's taking the last 3 days and putting that average 3 days in the future to give you a trend line out into the future. And as we look at that, let's see if I can hit it. There we are, and $99 on the 13th. So yeah, if we're not, it won't take a lot to come back down into that range and signal a top in Tesla. But it's been kind of weird to see a company where it's so easy to figure out the profit and loss going forward in this company. And the Barron's article probably putting the fear of God into a little of these. But we've seen Netflix, we've seen Tesla. A lot of these companies with pie-in-the-sky earnings continue higher, and we'll have to keep a close eye on that. Did we see anything else out here? FTE, which I didn't talk about. We'll get into that here right now. And that's France Telecom. Nothing to really talk about in that one. I can't remember why I wanted to look at it. It was probably a bigger issue earlier on. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at some of the ones that I had in my tests, because there were some. I know we had somebody call in about glue. And we're starting to finally see some kind of bottom in this, although I think we could still see a lower, and that is back around this $2 level. Somebody called in, I don't know, probably 2-3 weeks ago, and I thought this thing could pull much lower. And not a bad-looking chart out here, but I still think we could easily get back into that $2 range for Glue Mobile, and that is, you're getting awful close back in here to these high volume lows, but not a bad looking chart. Did take off with volume, had a sign of strength. Now you're getting at that consolidation where it's filling up most of that. And I would, if you could get down in that $2 range, it would really be beautiful. You might not get it. I can't remember who had called about it, but maybe they'll call again today. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. We still have plenty of time to get in before the end of the show.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of tfnn.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to tfnn.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of tfnn.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at tfnn.com.
And as we come back, we've got our caller, Ron from Denver today. How you doing, Ron? Hello? Nope. It fell off. Vertex Holding Corporation, VHC, and they are a holding company that develops software and technology solutions for securing real-time communications over the Internet. The company software and technology solutions include secure domain name registrations and other things like that. So what do we have? Boy, this thing has certainly come back into a resistance level. I suspect he's wondering if he wants to go short this thing, and you probably have a nice setup here for a possible ABC down. Let's take a quick look at that. What do we have up here? 34. Let's look at that real quick. Select A. Select B. And select today is C. Yeah, so we got a 50% retrace today. I would say that that's not a bad-looking possible ABC down. Certainly huge energy and a low out here that's untested, so not a bad deal. I like shorts that are at least $30 or higher, just from a numbers perspective, but not a bad deal. We have an email coming in and asking about looking at TLT. I think someone called last week and we were talking about whether this thing was actually looked like it was going to come back and test a lower low. What do we have here? Or go after this gap at 112, and it certainly looks like that's where we're headed. Gap at 110, gap at 112, and the TLT, which is the iShares Barclay 20-year Treasury bond fund, could easily get back in to two of those gaps. And would not be surprised. 109.69 is the last major low out here also from March 19th, 2012. This thing could easily get in it. Energy did not slow down from the last leg up. And, could have a wicked 1-to-1 at 106 if this is an ABC down. Let's just pull that away just a little bit. Probably smaller ABC in this one is more likely. But 109.69 looks like a high probability, and it looks like Pradip was asking about that. And let's see. Looks like I get to retire because somebody from Nigeria has a bunch of money that they want to give me. I'm just reading my email here today. But we've got just a couple of minutes back in here today. Let me get a chance to kind of get back in here and look at the you're kind of bouncing around on these lower numbers. We're up a point now on the S&P cash. Still a volume very light, 2.1 billion shares coming into this. I can't really think of a lot of reasons that volume would be this low, other than it is now a summer. We're getting into these summertime blues where probably volume on Mondays is going to be very, very light. We're going to have significant trading on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and then very, very light Fridays yet again today. Just wanted to take one look at Amazon before the end of the day. This thing is rolling higher up here, and volume's about the same as previous highs out here. Anyway, keep an eye on Amazon. Maybe that'll give us a little better idea. Don't see a lot of juice in it so far. See you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.